Hey everyone, welcome back. Thanks for being here. I am at it again. I'm not sure what my deal is. I just can't seem to get a bike and settle in with it for the long haul. Yes, that's right. After having my Harley Heritage for about 3.5 months, I am shopping for another bike. I apologize to my wife and my bank account. There are a couple of reasons I'm looking to trade in the Heritage. The foremost reason is that I miss the fairing that I had on the Indian Chieftain. I miss having the gauges in front of me instead of having to look down at the tank to see how fast I'm going or what gear I'm in. I also miss the better wind protection. I know you can buy third-party fairings for the Heritage, but it doesn't resolve having to look down at the tank to see your speed, so I'm not totally sold on that as a solution. The other primary reason is the ground clearance. The Heritage sits about a half inch lower than the touring bikes, so when I take corners more aggressively, I find myself scraping the pegs. Those are the reasons I have been shopping for a touring bike. But here's my challenge. Touring bikes are expensive, especially Harleys. My local Indian dealer has a used Indian Chieftain that fits in my budget and is a great looking bike. Has a lot of the add-ons I'm looking for, but for some reason I haven't been able to pull the trigger and buy it. I'm not sure why, but my gut is telling me to stay with Harley and buy a Street Glide. I should have just bought a Street Glide instead of buying the Heritage after my Chieftain was totaled. But that's a different story. I have other videos explaining that situation. I don't know why I'm so hesitant to buy this Chieftain. Looking at the numbers and the features, it's a superior bike to a comparable Street Glide, and its price to sell. There's just something, I'm not sure what, that's telling me to stay with Harley. But finding a Street Glide in my budget is proving to be quite a challenge. I've talked with several dealers over the past couple of weeks, and for the rest of the video, we're going to focus on 6 things to watch out for when shopping for a bike from a dealer. Number 1, and this would typically only happen with your local independent motorbike dealers that maybe aren't as organized as your big dealership chains, and that is to verify availability before going on site. I had an experience where I emailed a dealer about an electric glide they had for sale that looked appealing. I then called twice in that same day before I went and drove to see them. Both times I was told to come on up. I drove 90 minutes one way to their dealership only to find that the bike had sold the day before. Needless to say, I was not happy. Number 2, and it seems like this is the case more often than not, the price you see advertised is not your out-the-door price. I'm not talking about tax, tags, document processing fees, stuff like that. I'm talking about hidden dealer fees and markups. I had this situation recently as well. I was talking to a dealer about a new Street Glide. If you look at Harley's website, a black 2023 Street Glide standard with all the options like ABS, RDRS, premium radio, etc. is $26,900 after surcharge and shipping. But this dealer was telling me their price was over $31,000. They had almost $5,000 in markup fees on a new Street Glide. So it's a good idea to know what the bike should cost when you walk in the door. Now, having talked to some dealers about this, I learned that some dealers use what's called DSRP, dealer suggested retail price, as opposed to MSRP, manufacturer suggested retail price, and so that's why they can set the retail price to whatever they want if they're not using MSRP as their pricing guide. Number 3, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. I saw a 2021 Street Glide with 500 miles on it advertised for $17,500, which is a really aggressive pricing. When I got to the dealer, I found out that bike is what they call their Blowout pricing program, and the Blowout pricing program requires 30% down and a 36-month payoff, and it can only use Harley credit with that as well. It is the only way they will sell the bike. So you have to put down $6,000 or $7,000 and pay $650 a month for 3 years to buy that bike. They would not allow me to do my own financing, which put that bike out of my range. By the way, folks, we're halfway through this. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I appreciate it. Feel free to like or leave a comment as well. Thanks. Moving on, number 4. Refusal to talk numbers over the phone or email. I've talked with 7 or 8 different bike dealers in the past couple of weeks, and only half of them have been willing to give me an estimate on the trade-in value for my Heritage and work up a quote for whatever bike I was interested in over the phone or via email. The rest of them have refused and insisted that I had to go on site. There are two reasons for this. One is that they want to see the bike you are trading in before giving you a number on it. I get that, but there's no reason they shouldn't be able to give you an estimate, even if it's not a concrete number. The second, and obviously the main reason, is that they want to get you in the showroom so that you're more likely to ride out with one of their bikes, because you don't want to make the drive and spend all that time there and not have anything to show for it. And oftentimes they will do their best to sell you something that is actually an upgrade or a new bike. Number 5, getting different offers for your trade-in based on what you buy. Most of the Harley dealers I have talked to are offering me anywhere from $10,500 to $11,000 to $11,500 for my Heritage if I buy a used bike. But they're offering me anywhere from $12,000 to $15,000 if I buy a new bike. Obviously that's because there's more profitability on the new bikes, so they can afford to do that. So it's just something to be aware of. Some dealers have offered me the higher number trade-in value right off the bat. Others I've had to play hardball with to get them to offer the higher price. I had one Harley dealer that offered me $9,000 as a trade-in. They said they don't do all the Harley promos and marketing programs, so they just can't afford to offer as much as other dealers. Right, sure, whatever. And last, number 6, the bait and switch tactic. This ties in with number 3, that if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. Some dealers will advertise a bike or some of their bikes with really great pricing, or they'll advertise some really great promos to get you in the door, but when you get into the dealer, you find out the requirements to get those promos are out of your reach. So they bait you in with those promos or prices, then they switch you over to try to sell you something completely different when you can't meet those promos requirements or the low price requirements. So it's a bait to get you in the door, and then they switch you up when you can't do that, and they switch you up to something else. So those are the 6 things to be aware of when shopping from a dealer. I'm getting closer to finding the right bike for me, but not totally there yet. I'm still making sure I've got the right thing, and still having the internal argument with myself about why I'm still looking for a Street Glide when I have a great looking Indian Chieftain within my grasp. If you have any idea on that, let me know. Anyway, thanks everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.